The Tzitzimitl, an ancient figure from Aztec mythology, stands as one of the most enigmatic and terrifying beings in pre-Columbian folklore. Often depicted as a fearsome, otherworldly entity, the Tzitzimitl has become a symbol of destruction and cosmic chaos. To understand the nature of the Tzitzimitl, one must delve into the depths of Aztec religious beliefs, the symbolism behind their myths, and the crucial role these creatures played in shaping the worldview of an ancient civilization. The Aztecs, an advanced and complex society that flourished in Mesoamerica between the 14th and 16th centuries, built their entire religious framework around the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Their gods were many, and each served a unique function in the perpetuation of life, the seasons, and the natural world. However, within this cosmological structure existed figures of destruction, figures whose purpose was not to nurture life, but to undo it, to return the universe to its chaotic origins. The Tzitzimitl were among the most fearsome of these entities. According to Aztec mythology, the Tzitzimitl were often depicted as female demons or deities, representatives of the darker forces that lurked in the cosmos. These figures were often associated with the night sky, the stars, and the heavens, and they were believed to be capable of great harm. The Tzitzimitl were said to have been born from the stars and had a deep connection to the forces that controlled the cycles of the universe. They were associated with chaos, darkness, and the power of destruction. One of the most important aspects of Tzitzimitl mythology is their connection to the sun. The Aztecs believed that the sun was constantly under threat by the forces of darkness. The Tzitzimitl, along with other terrifying celestial beings, were said to be enemies of the sun. The most iconic myth involving the Tzitzimitl is their role in the myth of the sun's journey across the sky. It was believed that the sun had to fight off these dark forces every night to rise again in the morning. The Tzitzimitl were not only seen as the embodiment of darkness, but also as agents of death and destruction who tried to stop the sun's rise. The Tzitzimitl were often depicted as monstrous, horrific beings. Their faces were often shown as skull-like, with sharp, jagged features and an unsettling, otherworldly expression. Their forms were sometimes portrayed as skeletal, with the outlines of their bodies resembling those of humans, but with exaggerated, grotesque features. These depictions were intended to evoke fear and awe, reminding the Aztecs of the constant threat of cosmic disorder. They were shown with a variety of terrifying attributes, spikes, claws, and dark, flowing robes that emphasized their otherworldly, ghostly nature. In some representations, they were depicted as giant figures in the sky, towering over the world below, watching over humanity with malevolent intent. Their role within Aztec religious practices was equally as frightening. The Aztecs believed that the gods required blood to sustain the natural order, and the Tzitzimitl were no exception. Sacrificial rituals were an essential aspect of Aztec religious life, and the Tzitzimitl were believed to be powerful forces that could be appeased through blood offerings. These rituals were often carried out during solar eclipses or other astronomical events when the sun was in danger of being overtaken by the forces of darkness. The Tzitzimitl, along with other dark deities, were thought to become more active during these times, and their influence was said to increase. As a result, sacrifices were made to ensure the sun's survival and to ward off the influence of these dark forces. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Tzitzimitl mythology is their connection to the Aztec understanding of time and the universe. The Aztecs believed in cyclical time, where the world was constantly in a state of flux, destruction, and rebirth. The Tzitzimitl, as embodiments of darkness, represented the chaotic forces that existed before the world was brought into order. They symbolized the primordial chaos that preceded the creation of the universe and were thought to embody the destructive forces that would eventually return the world to that chaotic state. The Aztecs believed that the universe was created and maintained by the gods, and that without their guidance, the world would fall back into chaos. The Tzitzimitl were often seen as the agents of this chaos, forces that were always lurking, waiting for the right moment to destroy everything that the gods had built. They were not mere mythological creatures, but powerful symbols of the dark side of the cosmos. They represented the eternal struggle between order and chaos, creation and destruction. Despite their fearsome reputation, the Tzitzimitl were also a necessary part of the cosmic balance. The Aztecs believed that every force, no matter how destructive, had a role to play in maintaining the harmony of the universe. The Tzitzimitl, though terrifying, were not considered evil in the conventional sense. They were simply forces of nature, embodying the darker aspects of existence. Without them, the universe would be incomplete. Their role in the cosmic cycle was to bring balance to the natural world, to ensure that the sun would rise again after the darkness of the night. The Tzitzimitl were not just figures of ancient mythology, but have also had a lasting influence on popular culture. Their image has been revived and reinterpreted in various forms throughout history, particularly during the colonial period, when the Aztec gods and myths were often misinterpreted or demonized by Spanish colonizers. The fear and fascination surrounding the Tzitzimitl have persisted through the centuries, and their dark symbolism continues to captivate the imagination of people around the world. In modern times, they have been reimagined in literature, art, and film as symbols of cosmic horror, representing the unknown and the terrifying aspects of the universe. The Tzitzimittl's dark secrets reveal not only the complex religious practices of the Aztec people, but also the deeper philosophical questions about the nature of life, death, and the forces that govern the universe. Their mythology provides a window into the Aztec worldview where gods were not always benevolent figures but also powerful forces of destruction and chaos. By understanding the Tzitzimittl's role in Aztec culture, we gain a greater appreciation for the depth of their beliefs and the intricate relationship between life and death, creation and destruction, that defined their worldview. Through the lens of the Tzitzimitl, we can also reflect on our own fears and our attempts to understand the darkness that exists in the world around us. Just as the Aztecs sought to appease these powerful forces through ritual and sacrifice, modern societies grapple with their own methods of confronting the unknown. Whether through religion, science, or art, the desire to confront the dark forces of the universe remains a universal part of the human experience. The Tzitzimitl, with their terrifying image and symbolic power, serve as a reminder that darkness is an inherent part of existence, a force that must be acknowledged and respected if we are to understand the balance of the cosmos.